Almost inevitably, this week's movie of the week is Captain America's Civil War, which is mostly the sequel to both Captain America the Winter Soldier and the Avengers Age of Ultron, but also manages to be the jumping off and on point for various other Marvel characters. The movie opens in climactic fashion. The Avengers prevent the theft of a deadly bioweapon. The mission is successful, but several Wakandan relief workers, never heard of the place, are unfortunately blown to smithereens. Important people are understandably upset, and something called the Sokovia Accord, named after the city that Ultron made fly with the devious plan of then dropping it again and destroying the world, is drafted by the United Nations, giving them administrative power over the Avengers. Iron Man is on board, but Captain America is having none of it, and when the Winter Soldier gets involved, well, let's just say things get a bit heated.
Captain, you seem a little defensive.
Well, it's been a long day.
If we can't accept limitations, we're no better than bad guys.
That's not the way I see it. Sometimes I want to punch you in your perfect teeth.
This is a tougher, harder Marvel movie than any but the last Captain America. This is entirely appropriate, as the film looks at the real-world cost of all these super-tight people beating the super shit out of each other wherever they darn well please. The stakes aren't as high here as in other Marvel movies. No one is trying to destroy and or take over the world, and thankfully there's no deadly peril coming from above. Really, thanks for not doing that again, Marvel. But by burdening the Avengers with the kind of moral quandaries they might experience if they entered our non-MCU, the whole thing manages to carry more dramatic weight than we might expect. Not that we should take any of this too seriously. I mean, deep down, we're still talking about capes, tights, magic, and impossible science fiction. This added toughness is also very much there in the look and feel of the film. Everything seems to hurt a bit more in this one. The action is fast, kinetic, and heavy-hitting. When the Cap jabs at Tony with his shield during their climactic fight, it crunches far more than even Thor's hammer managed when they met way back when in Avengers Assemble. It's not just the punches that land more heavily. This film packs more emotional wallop than the other Marvel movies. These characters have a long history, they respect each other, and yet they disagree enough to be willing to kill each other. There's a real sense of regret. This is all well and good. In fact, it's something of a step forward and an escape from formula for the Marvel series. But I must admit to hankering just a little for the full-blown, glossy nerdgasms of Whedon's Avengers movies. Since this movie has so many of the Avengers in it, I think that's a reasonable comparison. They were just so much fun. Even Ultron, if you can overlook its failings and enjoy the individual moments of brilliance. And I have to say that while the battles in Civil War are exciting and satisfying, they never quite reach the iconic levels of, say, Iron Man vs. Thor vs. Captain America from Avengers 1, or Hulkbuster Iron Man vs. Hulk in Age of Ultron.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep.
Just saying. I miss the humour too. The Avengers movies were absolutely packed with jokes. So many that at times they're literally hanging around in the background waiting to be noticed. I recognise that the tone in this film is necessarily different. I just wish that the characters, in particular Tony Stark, had been given better one-liners. But then not everyone can write like Joss Whedon. Where Civil War is a definite improvement over Marvel's previous team-up movie is the way in which it effortlessly finds space for its multiple superheroes. It even finds time to introduce two new ones, Black Panther and Spider-Man. Well, this version of Spider-Man is new anyway. Both characters are presented neatly and without confusion. We are told who they are, what powers they possess, and what their motivations and allegiances are. In fact, they slip so seamlessly into the mix that you barely notice that they're new characters at all. Take note, Batman vs. Superman. In short, Captain America is a Marvel movie that moves away from the tried, tested, and let's face it, slightly tired formula. The action is faster and harder, and the tone a tad grittier, which brings its own pleasures at the expense of the pure popcorn rush of previous Marvel movies. I guess it's all a question of taste.